Hey girl, Cyn Doll here coming at you with another video, girl. And in this video, we are going to talk about relaxed hair. Wait, before I get started, let's do the intro real quick. That we talk about natural hair so much, and I do want to start by apologizing to everyone who has relaxed hair, because for whatever reason on YouTube or just on social media period, we don't pay any attention to you and we act as if relaxed hair is a bad thing. But boom shakala bam, if you look at this video here, you can see that I started my whole YouTube journey with relaxed hair because it was easiest for me whenever I was doing hair from sun up to sundown. Before you can know of whether or not a relaxer is good for you, or if it'll hurt you, you should first know why you're getting a relaxer in the first place or what it's doing. Whenever you're getting a relaxer or a perm, what you are doing is changing the amount of protein that lie within the hair shaft. What do I mean by that? There are two things that determine your curl pattern. Depending on your genetics, you're either going to be Asian, African descent, and things of that nature. So the size of the follicle determines the curl pattern. The curlier your hair is, the tighter the follicle is. But the major key is within the hair shaft. The thing that separates curly hair from straight hair is the amount of protein that lives inside of the disulfide bond. Now, as we've talked about in previous videos, and if you're new to my channel, maybe not, there are three bonds holding your hair together: the salt bond, the hydrogen bond, and the disulfide bond. Okay, the disulfide bond is the bond that we are working with whenever we are relaxing our hair. Now, whether you're doing your hair at home or doing it yourself, I know you know what I'm gonna say. Olaplex is one of those things that is major key. Listen, I had to stop and go help my baby with her homework. I don't know what happened, but when I came back, I saw the lace was showing on the side. Listen, don't judge me, judge yourself, okay? Don't judge me, judge yourself, okay? Okay, let's get back to it. I know it seems like I was just talking you to death, but I promise you all of that was for a reason. Whenever you are giving yourself a relaxer, what you are doing is simply taking out the protein. You have mild relaxers, medium relaxers, and like super duper relaxers. Anytime you get a relaxer and it's over processed or it broke or anything like that, there were too many bonds removed from the hair shaft. It is just as simple as that. Most of the time this happens because we're under the impression that if you're relaxing your hair, that you have to make sure that your hair gets bone freaking straight, where in reality, you're really only supposed to relax your hair maybe about 60 to 70%, never 100%. This is why this is where most relaxers go bad. There are a lot of people who make comments about stylists back in the day who would rub relaxer into the scalp. Well, if you were behind the chair at the time, or if you know anything about chemical services whatsoever, the very first thing that you do is base the scalp. And if you base the scalp properly, there is a thick protection layer of petroleum, a petroleum base protected to put a barrier between whatever product you're putting on your client's hair and the scalp. Now, the rubbing into the scalp that you hear a lot of people talk about is not rubbing it into the scalp. What you are doing is making sure that you work the product in. For example, any person who is a specialist in hair color can back me in this. Whenever you are doing any type of hair color or going from a lighter color to a darker color, it is imperative that you work the product in. So if you have relaxed hair, remember, all you've done is put a chemical on your hair that has asked your cuticle to open up really quick so it can pull some of the protein out to relax your curl pattern. Once the relaxer is rinsed out, it is imperative that you use a neutralizer formulated by the same exact company that made the relaxer. There are a lot of videos going around, and I've had quite a few people comment saying that they make their own neutralizer, or or they'll use vinegar as a neutralizer. Listen, people can say whatever they want to say. Do you think this is, you do not know the formulation, there is no way that you can 100% balance the pH level back to normal. So if you're a person who is relaxing your hair, please follow the directions on the bottle, because even if your hair feels really good now, that means absolutely nothing, sis. Everything feels good until it doesn't feel good anymore. Remember that. That is one of the main reasons that everyone is running into all of these issues, because they put it on and they're like, oh, it feel good, but everything works until it doesn't. Okay, so up next, after you use your neutralizer, it is imperative that you limit the amount of products that you use. After you do your relaxer, all you need, love, is a leave-in conditioner and a heat protectant. That is it. If you want to know my recommended products, I'm going to leave them in the description box below. I know that people are going to be like, oh my God, only 2 products? Oh my God. Once you relax your hair, you need to make sure that you are giving your hair the amount of protein that it needs. So with relaxed hair, you want to be giving yourself a protein treatment at least once every 3 months. Now, before you give yourself a protein treatment, and a lot of people may have something to say about this, but before you give yourself a protein treatment, you must check your porosity. I know it makes sense to think that, you know, once you get a relaxer, you automatically have high porosity hair, or once you get color and lightener, that you automatically have high porosity hair, but that is not always true. You know why? For example, if you are a person who has extremely low porosity hair and you went to a colorist that used Olaplex or some type of bond protector, or she's just really good at lifting your hair without damaging the cuticle, your cuticle will close again. So if you have extremely low porosity hair and then you went to get your hair colored, then the cuticle was not damaged at all, or the cuticle wasn't changed in any way, shape, or form, then you will have low porosity hair again. It's a thing. So test your porosity first. Don't just magically think just because your hair is colored or just because you have relaxer that automatically you have high porosity hair. No. Knowing the science of the body gives you a basic level of standpoint. It gives you a basic level, so that way anytime something happens, you know, okay, I can just do this to test it, to double check. But that is what I always want you to remember. So if you have relaxer, make sure you always go ahead and still do that porosity test. And if you find out that you do have low porosity hair, then protein is not the thing that you want to be using. I want you to look into moisturizing conditioners, okay? Because you want to put back in moisture, or I need you to listen to your hair and pay attention to what your scalp is feeling like, what your hair shaft is feeling like. If you need a little bit of help with that, make sure you check the link in the description box below and my growth cycle. And in this book, in this ebook, I teach you how to take control of your entire growth cycle step by step. It's 89 pages, sus, and it is a winner. Okay, one of my top sellers. So if you need help figuring out what your natural hair growth cycle is, download that ebook. After you figure out what your conditioning treatment regimen is going to be based on what your hair is needing, at this point, all you need to do is make sure that you are keeping up with your trims, and that you are not doing over manipulative styles. This is going to be a part where some of you are not going to like it, but the video is about to be over in a minute, so you can suck it up. Now, whenever you are relaxing your hair, you need to make sure that you pick one. You cannot, Sister Sookie, Sister Toots, Sister Lollipops, you cannot be doing a relaxing your hair and then keeping your hair braided up. It makes no sense. Pick one, because once you break down the bonds in your hair is weaker than it was before. It is what it is. So you guys, you have to pick one. Either you want to wear your hair relaxed most of the time, or you want to do protective styles and wear your hair braided on a regular basis. Now, I'm not saying that you can never braid your hair again once it's relaxed. relax. That's not what I'm saying. But if the only thing you're gonna do is get a relaxer and then wear braids and wigs, don't do that, because the bonds have already been broken down in your hair. So before you relax your hair, really make a decision and figure out why. What are your patterns gonna be like, and do you really need a relaxer, or can you just get a routine that works a little bit better for you on an everyday basis? Okay, because that don't really make no sense, girl, and your hair is not gonna be strong if it's relaxed and braided up 24/7. Okay. Whenever you are wearing your hair relaxed, do not think that you have anything to be ashamed of, or that you are less proud to be a Black woman because your hair is relaxed. Be sure to get a routine and a regimen that works for you, that you can keep up with. At least once a month, there needs to be either a moisture treatment or a reconstructive treatment. A protein treatment and a reconstructive treatment are two completely different things, okay? A reconstructive treatment will be a product like Olaplex. Is no difference between relaxed hair and natural hair other than the amount of protein that lives in there. And do not get mad at me, guys, but to be quite honest with you, whenever I was standing behind a chair for 14 years, it was a known fact that my clients with relaxed hair, even the ones that I was meeting for the first time, the clients with relaxed hair, they did not have half of the damage as the clients that came in with natural hair, who had not put heat or any type of chemicals in their hair in years. And this is a fact. And I don't really know too many cosmos that don't agree with me. Even if they don't want to say it, it is the truth. Okay, so I really hope that this video helped in some type of way. If it did, leave it in the comments below, and join one of my groups, and join my free group. And in my free group, I help you figure out at least what your skin cell turnover cycle is, and you can talk to some women that are dealing with the same type of issues as you, and we can get community. Because yeah, I'm straight no chaser, okay, but it's community. We family. Okay, I'm your sister, girl. I'm your friend. I'm your cousin. I don't want to be your auntie old, but I'm your friend. I love you.